Alright boys, welcome back to another video. Knicks Daily here. Today we're going to be reacting to the latest Knicks news, and that's the team potentially trading for Jonas Valančiūnas. He plays for the Wizards, of course. He's a double-double machine. He would come off of our bench. Me personally, I'm just not sold on Mitchell Robinson. He has not been able to stay healthy. The Knicks are optimistic that he will return sometime in early February, but it's going to take him a lot of time to get up to speed, and if I could flip him for Valančiūnas, I don't even think I would hesitate. Is Mitch, when healthy, a better player? A way better player? Probably, because of his elite rebounding and rim protection. We saw what he did against Embiid. We see what he can do against the top bigs in basketball. He'd be a great weapon. But in terms of his ability to, again, to stay on the court, very, very concerning too. And Mitch has a lot of value. There's been multiple reported NBA teams that have contacted the Knicks in regards to his health, and now that he's coming back, now's the perfect time to trade him before another injury happens or something where he looks rusty. I don't really know. But Valančiūnas, I don't know too much about him. I mean, I've watched him play with the Pelicans. I haven't really seen him play with the Wizards. I mean, I don't know who the hell would be watching Wizards games outside of Wizard fans. They're the worst team in the league. But Valančiūnas, just looking at his numbers, I mean, he's given you right now about 12 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists. He's shooting 56%. He can stretch the floor 20 minutes a night. He's not going to play 20 minutes a night for the Knicks because we've got Cat. But, I mean, imagine what he would do in short spurts. You bring him in for 10, 12, and 15 minutes even off of the bench, and he's going to give you rebounding. He's going to give you scoring and leadership. Defensively is going to be the question, but I don't think the Knicks need defense right now. And I know that might sound very, very confusing because our defense has been terrible. I mean, they just gave up like 124 to the Pistons. But the reason why the Knicks are giving up so many points is because they're fatigued. And it's actually hilarious how so many Knicks fans disagree. It's like, what games are you watching? Like, take a look at this, guys. So right now, every Knicks starter is in the top 10 in the NBA's total minutes played this season. Mikal number 1, Josh Hart 2, OG 3. So literally all of our forwards are top 3 in minutes. Yeah, I wonder why we're struggling defensively. The guys have no legs. And then 6th is Jalen Brunson, the captain. And 10 is Karl-Anthony Towns. I mean, we have a 7-foot center top 10 in minutes. I mean, I get Jokic. I'm sure Jokic is in the top 10 in minutes. I mean, but also it's like, that's not really sustainable, man. Like, the reason why the Knicks were so successful last season was because of their depth. And this team they don't have any depth. And we've seen the second and the third string guys play extended period of time. Not often, but we've seen it, and they haven't looked great. So when you go out and you get Jonas Valančiūnas, all of a sudden you're getting a starting caliber player off of the bench. I mean, he would change everything too. And I know seeing Mitch go would hurt. We drafted him. He's a homegrown player. If the Knicks can go ahead and get Valančiūnas without trading Mitch, let me know down below. I don't know if that's even possible. I don't know why the Wizards would even do that, but like Jericho Sims and something else, I mean, yeah, hell yeah, sign me up for that. But I don't think that's really realistic. I think Mitch is going to have to be in this too. But I'm just looking at the Knicks right now, and if they can add in one more wing and then Valančiūnas, I think all of a sudden that changes everything, and it would put them right back to being that championship contender. Because the Knicks, I mean, sure, they've got a chance to win the championship. They've got a lot of talent, but I just think it's going to catch up to them. It already has. I mean, when you go out there and offensively you shoot the ball at a 40.5% clip from 3, 50 from the field, you make 24 free throws, you should win that game 99% of the time. The Knicks didn't, and the reason for that was because they gave up 44.1% from 3, and then 50% from the field, and then 17 of 18 free throws, which is a 94.4% clip. So the Knicks are scoring, they're not getting stops. I think Valančiūnas would take off a lot of the burden on Cat, because now all of a sudden you can play Karl-Anthony Towns 35 minutes instead of 43, because Valančiūnas can pick up those minutes, and he's not Cat, he's not a superstar, but he's a guy that can get it done, and he's played in big games, big moments, and he knows what it takes to win. And we also can't forget that Isaiah Hartenstein came to the Knicks on a 2-year contract, and then he left making about, $29.5 million annually. So, and Hartenstein is a good player, but is he even better than Valančiūnas? Not really. Like, he was growing into what he is now. The Thunder basically just took the Knicks' hard work because they were able to offer more money. So bringing Valančiūnas, I'm all for it. I mean, Valančiūnas and Achua off of the bench with McBride and Payne and Shamet looks a lot better. But I do think the Knicks could benefit off of one more wing. I would probably trade that Wizards protected pick, which we'll convey in a second. So it's basically 2 second-rounders. Take those, maybe even 5 second-rounders, Jericho Sims, and go get a wing or something like that too. Because this current Knicks team with no changes, I don't think is winning a championship. And I know that maybe my opinion changes by the week, but things are starting to add up too. Like 2 weeks ago, the Knicks were in a much different spot because they didn't look fatigued, but now they look way more than fatigued. I mean, this team just doesn't have it. That's why defensively they're giving up so many points, because it's catching up to them too. And that's why I made a video to start up the year saying that, hey, look, the Knicks bench is kind of deadly, man. They've got Achua, Campaign, McBride, Shamit. They've got Hagporty, and they've got Dadier and Kolek, but these guys just aren't even playing. So, I mean, the best teams in the NBA, they're not playing 4 guys off of their bench. Like, it's just not happening, man. I mean, you got to be able to go 10, 11, even 12 into your bench. Playoff time, absolutely. You can get away with playing 8 or 9 guys, but in the regular season, it's just inexcusable. It's really inexcusable. So, yeah, I do think the Knicks would benefit off of another piece, and hopefully they can bring that in. I think Valančiūnas makes a lot of sense. The Wizards clearly are shopping him. The Knicks have interest in Mitch, and to this point, like, I wouldn't even hate to see Mitch go because he's never even available. He's never even available. So, I mean, this guy went from returning in December to January to now early February. I mean, it's January 14th. I don't even think Mitch is even practicing, bro. So, yeah, they definitely got to let him go and bring in a veteran that's capable of helping us win a championship. And I'm going to assume Valančiūnas is in his, 30s. I don't know exactly how old he is. It might even be his early 30s. I don't know. Valančiūnas' age, it doesn't really matter. I mean, he's 32, but if you think about it, does that really matter? Because he's basically going to be the type of guy that you bring in an all-in type of move. Because you can't just be like, hey, look, we've got Cat, we've got Bridges here for the first year. Like, it's going to take time to win a championship. You got to go and get it right now. I know it's not really the way in basketball. Like, the Nuggets, they grew together for years. The Cavs that we're seeing, they're the 1 seed. They're the best team in the NBA. They've grown for years, and the Celtics have grown for years. But the Knicks, I mean, I guess they could grow for years, and they still can, but why not just help yourself at least have a better chance to win? And I know the Knicks love Mitch. I mean, I don't think anyone listening dislikes Mitchell Robinson as a player, as a person. He's even a better person than he is a player, but it's just we're talking about winning basketball games and winning a championship. And if you can upgrade your chances to do that, I mean, I don't know how you couldn't. I really don't. So, but yeah, that's really all I got for you guys, man. I just made a video like an hour and a half, 2 hours ago talking about last night's game. Definitely a tough one. The Pistons, they're playing red hot, but I think this is just a bigger story than the Knicks losing. I mean, it's just how they're losing. Teams just have not been able to miss against the Knicks, and clearly this team looks fatigued. I mean, Cat, he had 26 and 12, don't get me wrong, but he just didn't move like he did in the previous game against the Bucks. And it makes sense because the dude's playing 40 minutes a night as a 7-footer. And he already has had a knee injury and foot injuries, and now it's just you're adding on to that too. So, I mean, I think the biggest winner of getting Valančiūnas is Karl-Anthony Towns because a lot of stress is going to be taken off of him. When you have a backup big that can give you 10 and 10 a night off of the bench, it makes your life a hell of a lot easier. But guys, I'm out. Peace. Knicks Daily.